The corridors of Nexus Station fell silent whenever Zarathi walked through them. It wasn't her violet skin or her luminescent eyes that caused the hush. Those were common enough among the Valerian species. It was the creature that followed her, a shadow given form and hunger. The Vexmaul coiled around her shoulders like living smoke, its 6 eyes gleaming with an intelligence that predators weren't supposed to possess. Its crystalline fangs could pierce through hull plating, and the neurotoxin in its bite could paralyze a Krog warrior in seconds. Station security had tried to ban it twice. Twice Zarathi had reminded them that Vexmauls were sacred to her people, and discrimination based on cultural pets violated Galactic Council law. Section 47B. The creature, she called it Whisper, had been with her since childhood. On Valara Prime, Vexmauls bonded with their chosen partners for life, becoming extensions of their keeper's will. Whisper had saved her life during the Krev uprising, had protected her through the dark years that followed. She couldn't imagine existence without the weight of those coils against her neck, but she was lonely. Every potential friend backed away when Whisper's head emerged from beneath her hood. Every cafe she entered suddenly had no available seating. Even her colleagues at the Xenobiology Research Lab maintained a careful 3-meter distance, communicating through holoscreens rather than face-to-face. Then Marcus Chen transferred to the station. The human arrived on a Tuesday, assigned to the same research team. Zarathi noticed him immediately, not just because humans were relatively rare this far from Earth, but because he didn't flinch when Whisper raised its head during the introductory meeting. Beautiful coloring, Marcus had said, adjusting his glasses. Is that chromatophore-based or structural? The way the light catches those scales suggests a microstructure similar to Earth's morpho-butterflies. Zarathi had stared at him, certain she'd misheard through her translator implant. You're not afraid? Marcus looked genuinely confused. Of what, your pet? He leaned closer, much to the horror of their supervisor, who backed against the far wall. May I? He gestured toward Whisper. She nodded, too stunned to speak. The human extended his hand slowly, letting Whisper investigate. The Vexmaul's tongue flickered out, tasting the air around Marcus's fingers. Then, in a gesture that made Zarathi's heart skip, Whisper nuzzled against his palm. Incredible. Marcus breathed. The sensory organs along the dorsal ridge. Are those thermal receptors or chemical sensors? Both, she managed. How do you know about... I grew up in Australia, he said, as if that explained everything. We had eastern brown snakes in the backyard. Mum made me learn to relocate them safely when I was 8. He grinned. Your friend here is definitely more intimidating, but the body language is similar. See how the neck scales flatten when relaxed? That's a trust display. Over the following weeks, Marcus became a fixture in Zarathi's life. He brought her tea, real Earth tea, somehow procured from a trader 3 sectors away. He asked questions about Valerian culture, about her research, about everything except why she spent so much time alone. He also brought treats for Whisper. Synthesized protein cubes with trace minerals, he explained, offering one to the Vexmaul. I analyzed the dietary requirements based on your homeworld's ecosystem data. Thought Whisper might enjoy some variety. Whisper devoured the cube and promptly curled into Marcus's lap during their next research session. I think you've been adopted, Zarathi said, trying to hide how much the sight warmed her. Good, Marcus replied, scratching under Whisper's jaw plates, a spot that made the creature's eyes half close in contentment. I've always wanted a terrifying space serpent to call my own. The breakthrough came during a station-wide emergency. A coolant leak in Sector 7 released toxic gas, forcing an immediate evacuation. In the chaos, a young Thrin child became separated from their family, trapped behind a sealed bulkhead as gas levels rose. Security protocols prevented opening the door. The contamination would spread. They were debating options when Zarathi stepped forward. Whisper can go through the ventilation system, she said. Vexamals can survive in near vacuum for short periods. The toxins won't affect them. Too dangerous, the station commander said. If the creature gets lost or... I'll guide them, Marcus interrupted. He pulled up a schematic on his data pad. I worked maintenance before xenobiology. I know these systems. Zarathi and Whisper can do this. He looked at her and she saw no doubt in his eyes. Only trust. Together they coordinated the rescue. Marcus navigated the maze of ducts while Zarathi maintained her telepathic link with Whisper, seeing through her companion's multiple eyes. Whisper found the child within minutes, coiled protectively around the small body, and guided them both back through a maintenance shaft Marcus identified. When they emerged, the child unharmed and Whisper proudly draped across Marcus's shoulders, the crowd didn't back away. They cheered. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Marcus found her watching the stars. "You were amazing today," he said, settling beside her. Whisper immediately bridged the gap between them, creating a living connection. "Everyone saw Whisper differently after that," Zarathy said softly. "Saw us differently. They saw what I've known all along." Marcus's hand found hers. "That you're both extraordinary. That fear is just unfamiliarity, and understanding is the cure." She turned to him, this strange, fearless human who had looked at her most terrifying aspect and seen only beauty. "On Valara," she said quietly, "when a Vexmal accepts someone outside their bonded partner, it means they recognize a compatible soul. A potential mate?" Marcus supplied, his cheeks flushing that peculiar human pink. "I may have researched that extensively." Whisper chirped an amused sound and wound tighter around them both. "Subtle," Zarathy laughed, and kissed him while her companion and the stars bore witness. On Nexus Station, where 1,000 species mingled among the cosmos, a Valerian woman and a human man proved what the galaxy often forgot, that love, like understanding, required only courage and an open heart, even if that heart beat next to Six-Eyed Serpent from nightmares, especially then.